Hello and welcome to Women's Stories. It is a platform where women tell their stories and women-related topics are discussed, from career, education, politics, fashion and style, health, family life, and a host of other topics. I am Punarman Benjamin. Menopause is a point in time when a woman has gone 12 consecutive months without a menstrual period. It happens on average at age 52. It is a natural process that occurs when your ovaries stop producing reproductive hormones. When menopause happens due to surgery or medical treatment, it's called induced menopause. Hormonal changes due to menopause can cause uncomfortable physical and emotional symptoms. There are different stages of menopause: perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. This natural phenomenon is troubling women all over the world, including Africa, and the lack of awareness is worrisome. I have with me Dr. Amara Albert, who is Harvard trained in improving healthcare quality. She's the founder of Medics et al. Limited, a pioneer in health education and integrative medicine with over 2 decades experience. She will be helping us to understand what menopause is all about from a professional standpoint, and make us to also understand that menopause symptoms are not a spiritual attack. Welcome to Women's Stories, Dr. Amara.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for having me here.
From my intro, you have heard my own layman interpretation of what menopause is. But again, one thing that we need to know is that menopause is not a spiritual attack. We've seen women running from pillar to post looking for spiritual help when they start having symptoms. And this is because they have gone to the hospitals and all tests are done. No, nothing seems to be wrong with them. They're always having headaches, yet the doctor will say they are okay. Of course, you know that can be very troubling and disturbing. And for that reason, so many women have run to find spiritual help because they feel they have been attacked spiritually. Of course, you know this part of the world. Even when a fly passes, you think that he has been sent from your village. So we really need to understand what menopause is all about from the professional standpoint. Tell us, what is menopause?
Thank you so very much for this amazing opportunity. I'm so grateful that I am here, and I'm excited as well because this is one topic that a lot of women, just like what you say, they're so ignorant of, and it affects them when it gets to the stage. But before I go into menopause, I just want to give like an intro.
Okay.
When a female child is born, all the eggs that female child is going to have all the lifetime is already in the ovary of that baby. But these eggs, they are immature. Is when the child gets to the age of puberty. That's the reproductive age. That's when every month the child will now be yielding the egg. You know, when you say reproductive age, it means that when the egg is released from the ovary to the fallopian tube, the essence is that the egg is waiting for the egg is waiting for the sperm to fertilize it. So at that time, the hormones that are produced in this ovary, like the estrogen, the progesterone, they'll be getting the uterine lining ready for implantation of a fertilized egg. But if nothing happens, there's no intercourse, there was no sperm cell, that egg will die. And as the egg is dying, all the lining, all the preparation, the uterus that the body has made, prepared the uterus for that implantation, we now start shedding. That's why we call it a weeping womb. At that time, that's when the blood comes.
Yeah.
So, and this cycle, exactly, as menstrual cycle, and this cycle happens every month when that woman gets to puberty, and the woman continues like that till the woman gets what we call the premenopausal stage. By the time a woman gets to the age of 30, what is remaining of that egg might be about 20%. Because the woman has been shedding the egg all this time. Because it's not all the egg that eventually mature. It's the one that will mature that we expect it to be fertilized for implantation to take place for the woman to be pregnant. But there's something. This hormonal, this estrogen, the progesterone that are being produced, as the woman is now going through those stages and the reproductive age is declining, the same way, these hormones, like the estrogen that are being produced, are also being reduced because the ovary that is producing them is shrinking. So most times, by the time a woman gets to menopause, just like what you defined when you are introducing the topic, for 12 months consecutively, that woman did not see any menses. But before she gets to that, a lot of things had already started happening. That's what we call the premenopausal stage.
Yes.
So, what the point is, an interesting thing is that this estrogen is anti-inflammatory.
Oh.
Anti-inflammatory, inflammation in the sense that inflammation is that when there's an injury to the body will send the soldiers to fight that injury. I'll just give an example of something we can relate with. If someone hits your head on the wall, you find out that after a while, that place will start swelling. It will be painful. It will be red. What happened is that the body mobilized the soldiers of the body to go and fight that impact. But estrogen is anti-inflammatory. So it helps to stop that inflammation at that acute age. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and it's not only the ovary that produces estrogen.
Okay.
There are other parts of the body that produces estrogen. You have the adrenal gland. That's the gland you have on top of your kidneys. The fat cells also produces estrogen. But most times is when the woman is post-reproductive stage. When the ovary is no longer producing estrogen, that's when this other organ will now augment.
So now we understand all of that, but you know some of the symptoms of premenopause, which is hot flushes, headaches, dizziness, so many, even heart palpitation.
Beautiful.
Because I know that I watch Oprah Winfrey's show, and she was explaining how she went through terrible experience with premenopause. It can be really, really bad, especially with that heart palpitation. Her experience was bad. Now, why do we have to experience all of this?
Beautiful. You know, the thing is that the estrogen, almost every part of the body have receptor for this estrogen.
Okay.
The heart, the estrogen is very good for a healthy heart. The challenge is inflammation.
Yeah.
So, but estrogen is there to help in that inflammation. So when the estrogen start going down, the inflammation, the accumulation of plaque on the vessels of the heart, it will not be there because there's nothing to stop it. Estrogen is now going down. So that accumulation that causes the inflammation, that causes the narrowing of the vessels. So for the fact that the person is alive, the body must live. The parts of the body must get blood. So what they had to do now, they had to now want to exert a greater pressure in order to overcome that resistance. That's what makes the woman, around that period, she might be having high blood pressure. She might be having some issues with her heart. And again, there's what they call the SA node.
Okay.
The SA node is, apart from the heart contracting, it also sends some electrical impulses. And that SA node that initiates the impulses, it loves estrogen a lot. It helps it to do the work. So when estrogen is no longer there, that's where you start having that palpitation we are talking about. So, but the point is that when it comes to this premenopausal stage, symptoms, it's very difficult for you to make that diagnosis using the blood. Using blood because of the fluctuation of the estrogen. At times it might be up, at times it might be down.
And that is why a woman will go to the hospital.
Even if she
will run all manner of tests.
They might not even.
Nothing will be found.
Most times, if you are a good clinician, even if you're not a clinician, and you listen to the story of the woman, you'll be able to find out that, look, this woman is either going through perimenopausal. Because the problem is in the premenopausal, not necessarily the menopausal. Because the menopausal is a day.
Yes.
The day is ceases.
Ceases completely.
But before that happened, a lot of things happen. That's why, apart from the palpitation, we talk about women have dryness, vaginal dryness.
We'll talk about that specifically in the course of the program.
Okay.
But again, we know that this issue is very, I think the awareness level is very low. A lot of women don't even know about it. They don't prepare. Our mothers would tell us that when you're about to see your period, or when your period starts, showing up, your mother would tell you, once you meet a man, once you touch, they won't tell you. They won't even say once you meet. They will say once you touch a man, or a man touches you, you get pregnant. And then we get scared when we see men, we're running away. When we see boys, we're running away. We don't want them to touch us. And our mothers are very quick to tell us that story. But nobody is telling us about menopause. We don't even have knowledge. A lot of us found out through friends' testimonies. This one would tell you, oh, this is what I'm experiencing. A friend of mine kept echoing that menopause until I started shaking in fear. Like, is it this terrible? I also heard that a woman usually faints. That once she starts having those hot flushes, she can just pass out. So menopause is something that we should know about, and we should talk about it. But there's this thing that also disturbs me. Is the fact that we heard that women normally, medically, from age 45 to 52, they will experience perimenopause or premenopause and then menopause. But now we hear that women even younger than that are experiencing these symptoms. Why is it so?
Good. The point is that, like our mothers, just like what you said, they'll tell you about the menarche, the first menses, but they don't tell you about the menopause. Because most of them did not experience, they didn't have any bad experience.
Oh, I see.
They just breezed through it. But today, because of the kind of lifestyle,
I wanted to ask that, why are we
because of kind of lifestyle
having such symptoms?
The diet, lack of exercise, people don't move, sedentary life, you sit and work at home from home, and you don't even get up, you don't see the sun.
So that's why it's coming early.
It's coming early for most people. Some is even mid-30, maybe 35.
Wow.
Some late 30s, some 40s. And it ranges from maybe, let's say, 7 to 10 years, depending on the individual. It doesn't work it's not the same for everybody.
Everyone has
they have their own experiences. Everyone have what they experience when it comes to that. And just like what you said, it's good that we teach people about this. It's good we tell them about this so that they will start early to prepare themselves. And like some people that have exaggerated symptoms.
Exaggerated?
Yes, like the one you talk about, someone with faint, having hot flushes, and someone having a lot of issues. What happened is that they're not metabolically healthy.
Oh.
Before they now get to that stage. And that worsens it.
Okay.
I was telling you about estrogen. It's not in the heart. It also affects the reproductive area, even the gut. It helps in motility. It helps in the epithelial lining of the gut. It prevents what we call leaky gut. So it's very helpful. But when it's now start reducing, as a result of the person is like the age, the reproductive age is now going down as a result of that. You find out that the function it carries out in the gut will be affected. The motility will now be compromised. So you find out that food is not moving the way it's supposed to move in the gut. And when it's now staying there for a long time, there will be reabsorption of fluid inside the blood, and the person will now be having constipation. So that's why some people, they also complain of a lot of gut issues, because it also helps to balance the microbiome.
So you have to take care of your gut.
Yes.
Because if you're not healthy, if your immune system is low, your symptoms will increase.
God bless you.
Oh,
that's the point. Because over 80% of your immunity resides in the gut.
Yeah.
It resides in the gut. And not only that, we have over 100 trillion microorganisms in the gut. And they have a lot of beneficial effect to the body. So when that estrogen is low, and the person is not metabolically healthy before then, you find out that the person will experience a lot of gut issues.
So we need to take care of our health seriously at tender age. From 20s, you have to take care of yourself. And I also need to ask, oh, well, you mentioned it briefly while you were explaining that exercises and managing your stress level can also help to reduce the symptoms.
A lot. You know, the point is that when we talk about stress, some people don't really understand what stress is. Apart from the physical stress, you have emotional stress, you have the psychological stress. And the point is that the body don't know which one is which. It's the same way the body responds to them. But people don't even know that just breathing properly, just breathing alone, you can take care of exercise. Knowing how to breathe. Most people breathe through their mouth. It's just like someone that eating through the nose. If you talk about the respiratory tract, there is no part of the mouth is not part, but most people are breathing through their mouth.
Just hold your thought there. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, the conversation will continue. Stay with us. Women across Africa are yet to tell their stories. Join me, Punarimam, as I bring you women's stories where African women tell their intriguing, interesting, and authentic stories. Stay with me. Welcome back to Women's Stories. Of course, I have my guest here, Dr. Amara Albert, who has been talking to us about premenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. And of course, she has been doing very well, you know, in explaining to us that menopause is actually a natural phenomenon, and it's something that we have to go through it. And then we're also trying to break the myth that menopause symptoms are not spiritual attacks. Welcome, Dr. Amara. And of course, you're trying to, before we went on the break, you were explaining to us the importance of exercises and how it can really help us. Can you still buttress on that?
You know, most women, they don't believe that they should exercise their muscles. You know, like some people go to the gym to exercise, but they have a lot of fats around their visceral. Still boils down to that the person not being metabolically healthy. Let me talk about metabolism.
Okay.
You know, metabolism, there are two parts. The anabolic and the catabolic. Meaning that you are eating something. When you eat food, there's something in that food that you need. So your body will break it and use what the body needs to build is what the body needs. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
If you, maybe you ate, let's say, egg this morning, it's protein, that's what you know. But the body will not use that egg to do anything. It has to be broken down to amino acids. So it's that amino acid that the body will now use to build its own protein. And these hormones we are talking about, they are the protein that the body will use the amino acid to build.
Oh.
The enzymes, these are the things that the body will use it to build. And the ones that the body don't need, the body will excrete as waste. That is metabolism. But you find out that if there's any problem, either in breaking, or in assimilation, or in building, or in excreting, that is where the problem comes.
Oh.
Yes. You find out that most people that have problems before the premenopausal stage, like they have painful menses, they have polycystic ovary disease, they have ovarian failure. Those people, they have issues when they get to that premenopausal.
Oh.
And most times, the main problem is insulin resistance. What do I mean by insulin resistance? You know, like people, they think that what makes them fat is fat. It's not fat that makes you fat.
Food.
It's sugar that makes you fat.
Sugar.
Yeah, that's what makes you fat. Ooh. Yes. In fact, most people are taking processed food.
Processed
Simple
food.
carbohydrates. They will eat it in the morning. By the time they get to work by 10 o'clock, their body is like, we are hungry. They will still go and get another one. Maybe they will take a fizzy drink. They will take all these snacks, all these pastries. And as they're taking it, one thing with the body is that the body will use the energy the body needs at that time.
Okay.
The ones that the body don't need, the body will now, because the body will use the glucose at the one he needs at that time.
Yeah.
Because when you eat those things, there'll be glucose in the blood, and it will tell your pancreas to produce insulin. Insulin is a storage hormone. The function of the insulin is to take the glucose in the blood into the cells where they are needed. So when you were done using it at that time, the remaining ones, the body will now go and save them as glycogen in your liver.
Dr. Amara, now women are eating eba, semovita, all those food, tuwo and the rest, amala, pounded yam. How should we begin to watch what we eat so that when we get to that stage, especially the premenopause, and we know that those symptoms will show up?
It's not something we can discuss in a day. Like, it's not something we can discuss in this kind of how many minutes do we have to talk about that?
Yeah.
But the point is that health education is very important. But that's what we are lacking. And you don't even need to be a medical personnel to know the workings of your body.
Simple things.
And numerous studies have established that for you to live in health and wellness is 80% dependent on what you do. So if 80% is your responsibility, it means that it's your personal responsibility to live in health.
Yeah.
So that's why people should learn to understand, because it's what you know that you can modify, what you don't know can actually overwhelm you. So when you're eating all this processed food, like some people, what they set on their dining table in the morning, I call them sad diet. Standard American diet. As you're giving their children that, as they're eating them, they're creating job for the cardiologist, nephrologist, the orthopedic surgeon, the dental surgeon. You see children, they're wearing braces now. To them, it's style.
It's fashion.
It's fashion. It's fashion. They want to belong. But they are not preparing themselves for what is to come. Because that perimenopause and menopause is a transition, is a stage in life. And people don't supposed to suffer at all.
So if we live, if we change our lifestyles, if we exercise before we get to that stage, we won't have to suffer all of the symptoms.
Not at all.
Now I want to talk about brain fog. We know that it's very distracting and worrisome, because you see women getting distracted. I know growing up, seeing how my mother always looked for her items, especially her tights. My mom will always look for her tights. She will hide it somewhere and the whole house will be scattered. She's searching for it. And the next thing she will tell us is, whoever takes the God's tights will go to hellfire. And everybody is afraid. Oh my God, we keep suspecting each other, whether you are the one, whether you are the one, because you know yourself that you are not the one who has picked a mommy's tight. And then at the end of the day, she'll come smiling that she found it somewhere. And there was a time, it was so funny that she kept it in her shoes. You know, sometimes she will raise the mattress and hide it. So that brain fog is something that we should really talk about, because we want to compete with the men. We want to be in the same office. We want to also be CEOs. We want to be promoted. We want to be MDs. But if we have these challenges and we don't resolve them, and we don't find solutions, and we don't try to prevent them from happening, then the men will always take the center stage, and we will just be there, relegated to the background. And of course, you know, it's what I'm trying to promote on this show, so that women will be visible, and we will also be there, and we'll also sit at the table with kings, you know, and make decisions. So tell us about brain fog and what we should begin to do.
It's still the same thing. The estrogen dropping, because it's also very good for the brain, for brain health. So when estrogen drops, it's very good. It's an anti-inflammatory, like I said. All these amyloid, substances, you know, that causes Alzheimer's, all those inflammation of the brain. If the estrogen is there, it will not happen. Okay, so if the estrogen is there, they're anti-inflammatory, and they also help so that the person will not have brain fog. It helps with memory, with cognitive ability. But when it starts going down, that's when the person will start having those brain fog. The cognitive ability will now start declining. And another thing is at that stage, okay, when you say that you want them to sit as king, of course, they're not competing with men. They have their own role.
Oh, yeah.
And women are amazing. Because there's something about women. If you look at most mammals, when their female counterparts, they pass their reproductive age, they will die. But women, we are here. And it's for a purpose. God knows why he kept us after that reproductive age. That's why in some communities, they celebrate menopause. They celebrate premenopause. So we have to start teaching our people and educating them that this is something that is so unique and so special. They're going into grand. It's not everyone that gets to that stage. So it's something that has to be celebrated. With all your wisdom, with all your experiences in life, you are now transmitting it. You are transferring it. You're teaching your children, teaching people around and all that, that this is how life is. So it's something to be celebrated and something to be proud of. Like me, I didn't even know when I passed through, I did not even know.
Ooh.
I did not even have an idea.
Wow.
I just breezed through it.
So it's possible for women to escape.
Yeah, sure. I'm not the only person. I have some of my friends. I know some people. They say they didn't even know when everything happened.
Because we also think that every woman must experience those symptoms.
It's about 85% or even less. Yes, that experiences all those the symptoms. But when people prepare themselves ahead of time, when they're metabolically healthy, it will be difficult for them to have some of these problems. Because as the estrogen, it does not drop as in one day. It should just be dropping, the person might see menses today, next month the person will not see, 2 months the person will not see, it will run for 2 days, just like that.
So what about women that have never had babies? Do they experience the same thing, or is their own worse, or is better?
No, it depends on the individual.
Okay.
Because when it comes to health, it's highly personalized. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of a thing.
Yeah.
What affects this person and how it affects this person is different from how it affects the other person and how it affects the other person. So that's why it's always good to understand yourself, know your body, understand who you are, know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So, but the point is that once you get to that age, the egg is gone, and of course, there's nothing like reproduction again. But
so let's also look at the issue of sex.
Okay.
Because we also have heard that once a woman gets to that stage, she's no longer interested in sex, and then she starts feeling dry. Her vagina begins to dry off. So she will not, of course, if it's dry, you won't enjoy sex. So what should they do?
The lubrication is estrogen.
Oh, I see.
You see, it's the estrogen, the lubrication. So that place is not wet, it's dry. And she doesn't understand what is happening to her. Even the husband is complaining that you have changed.
Because I'm just thinking that what if your husband is sexually active?
That's the point. He said that you have changed. Meanwhile, the woman did not change. And that's how the rate of divorce is increased if you just check the statistics. The misunderstanding.
And, sometimes you wonder, why are they divorcing after 20 years?
Is that ignorance? So this topic is not only for women. Men should also know.
I just wanted to bring that up.
They should also know.
Because if your husband doesn't have an idea what premenopause is about, he just starts feeling that you're withdrawing. You're no longer interested. But if he gets to know, he just understands that, oh, this is that stage. And at the end of the day, both of them sit down and find solution.
And again, at that point, the elasticity. That tightness, it also reduces.
Oh.
The person might start having frequent urinary tract infection. And she'll be going to the hospital. Each time she will have a bacterial treatment, taking antibiotics. And the more antibiotics you take, the more they're also killing the beautiful microorganisms in the gut.
Oh my!
And the more it was worsening the situation. So it's like a holistic thing.
Wow.
It's a holistic thing. So we have to, health education is very, very important. Then the lifestyle changes. You talk about sleep. Sleep is amazing.
But guess what? A lot of women having this premenopause, they don't sleep.
That's why they have to understand this. I call sleep. The shorter your sleep, the shorter your life. there are so many things they can do for them to have a restorative sleep. When you will sleep, you will go through the stages and the phases of sleep. Because when you're sleeping to you, you're sleeping, but that's when the body is doing all the repair work. The connectivity, the brain connectivity, the production of new breaths, so many things are happening. But the brain fertilizer.
But what if a situation where you keep sleeping and you still feel tired, as if you've not rested enough?
The person did not go through the stages and phases of sleep. And some people, they sedate themselves. It's not the same thing with sleep. Sleep and sedation are not the same.
Because you're taking something that will aid sleep.
Yes, so it's not sleeping. The person is sedated. So the person is not enjoying the beautiful things that happen during sleep. And some people just go into the sun to see the sun. They will have an amazing sleep.
I woke up one day to a call of a friend of mine. And she says, go outside and take that sun. That morning sun is important. And she's that friend who, oh Lord, she just clocked 50. So she's far older than me. And I also learned a lot from her. So she said, that sun is important. It helps you. I was like, sun again. You know,
because we have internal
we know about vitamin C.
Yes. And vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
You can imagine we're in this environment, but some people are lacking in vitamin D. Why will it be so? It's something that you get from the sun that will help the skin to produce. And that's one of the vitamin and the hormone. It's also a vitamin and hormone that the body produces. And it's involved in more than 300 metabolic activities in the body. So and you're not paying for it just to go outside and see the sun.
So, but we also know that women get to premenopause and then get to menopause and get to postmenopause.
Yeah.
And within this period, can a woman still conceive?
Yeah. It's very, very possible because like in medicine, there's nothing like absolute. I remember as a medical student, if there's any question, they said, must, always. Just know there's a bonus.
Because there's a possibility, so medicine can fail.
The point is that medicine is revolving. It's one of the youngest science.
Yeah.
So a lot of things, even some of the things we are taught in school, they are obsolete.
Yeah, so new things are coming up, new discoveries. So it's not that you will know it all.
Those things are there, but
it's not a casting
it's been like open to men. The researches are going on, a lot of things are happening. So many things, my beloved sister, so many.
Even though we've talked about how men should understand their wives or their partners' bodies so that they can help them to, go through this process, I also feel that it's important for men to understand that when you know what is happening to your wife, you also support her.
Exactly.
And by supporting her, you're helping her. And, she'll feel loved and she'll feel that she has somebody by her side who understands what she's going through and will also help her to go through. They will also go through it together and they will find solution together. I also heard of a man whose wife is 60 and he still expects her to go to the kitchen and make egusi soup and pounded yam. I feel that at 60, for God's sake, you should be able to support your wife. If you can't afford a cook, afford a cleaner, please do so, because this woman is going through a lot. When it's time for period, women go through a lot. They have pains, sometimes mood swings, headaches, so many symptoms. And then menopause is also one thing that has a hell of experiences. Now, we also know that if we help each other as partners, it will also go a long way and then it will make life much easier. So we also are calling on the men to also help their wives, help your partners, so that at the end of the day, she will feel loved and the symptoms will even reduce. You don't know, love heals. Love does a lot of things, and then support is also very important.
Menopause is a blessing.
It is a blessing indeed.
It's a blessing. Any woman that gets to that stage should be very grateful to God. And it's not something that you need to suffer. But the point is that for the fact that people already have a mindset, they're expecting something bad. They're expecting the symptoms. That's what affects them. And they already have it in their mind. And what you have in the mind affects your body. Because your mind is an intangible spiritual entity. Meaning that if I open you up, there's no part of your body that is called the mind. But whatever a man doeth, he first of all do it in his mind. And the machinery of the mind is the brain. So with all these chemicals you're talking about, all these hormones, they send, neurotransmitters, send information to the... So that is it. And again, talk about the brain fog and all that, the happy molecule.
Yeah.
the serotonin and all that, is even in the gut. 90% of them is produced in the gut. 95% of the serotonin, which is the happy molecule, is produced in the gut. And when a woman is getting depressed during that stage, it's just for her to fix her gut. And when the gut is fit, the organism that produces the serotonin will produce the serotonin, and the woman will be good. So there are so many things, and these things are so beautiful. Just the knowledge. We don't want to understand what you're able to modify and know how to go about it.
I also think that I wouldn't say it's wrong for us to start telling our daughters about menopause. In as much as they're experiencing periods, maybe we should start telling them.
They know a lot, so we should tell them.
Yeah.
There are so many things they know that you don't even know. So we have to
because of the internet,
exactly.
social
We have
media.
to start teaching them and educating them on the right things that they are supposed to know. If they do, they'll be able to package themselves very well, and they will not have the kind of experiences that some others had.
And then it's just knowledge. It's just it all. It's knowledge that will really help us to get through this and then get better and live a happier life. Thank you very much, Dr. Amara Albert, my guest today. She has really spoken a lot about menopause, and I'm very sure we're much more knowledgeable now about what menopause is and what menopause is not. It's not a spiritual attack. It is a phase that women have to face. And of course, we also know that it's not every woman that will have to experience the symptoms of premenopause. Some don't even experience it at all. Thank you very much for staying with us here on Women's Stories. Until we come your way again with another episode. Thank you and bye.